Guys, welcome back. So if you're in my 16-week class, this is the start of week 10, and then if you are in my 8 weeks class, this is likely week 5, I do believe, that you'll be seeing this video. For this particular week, or this section for my 8 weeks class, we're going to be discussing what you're doing this week, which doesn't have any textbook work as far as my 16-week class, because this week you're going to be doing something that our Student Success Center put together mainly for this class, but it is something that's also available in the Student Success Center for any of the students on campus. But they have us do this couple of assessments for this particular class because it's a very helpful assessment. It has a lot of really useful information about some of your behaviors, some of the things, the way that you do things, and it has a lot of, once you get basically the results of your assessment, it gives you a very detailed breakdown page of probably some of the ways that you do things, some of the behaviors that you have, some of the ways that you could potentially either change some of your behaviors or some suggestions on how you can do some things in order to overall help yourself be more successful with whatever your goals may be for college, life, things like that. So the first assessment that you're going to be doing is called the Student Success Profile Assessment. And then after you complete that assessment and you get your results page, then you're going to be completing what they put together as a follow-up assessment, and it's a much shorter assessment that you do, and it is called the Super Strong Assessment. The Super Strong Assessment is more, I'm going to go ahead and read it for you because this one's new that we're adding on to the Student Success Profile Assessment. The Super Strong Assessment is basically it's an assessment that links your interests to careers, salaries, job outlooks, skills, and then the education that you would need to meet your goals. Some of you that are already in your career path, but you're coming back to Rose to finish your associate's degree and whatnot, maybe to go further in your company, that particular assessment may not be completely beneficial to you, but it may. But for those of you that are starting out in college and you're kind of finding your path towards your goals, that might be a really cool assessment that's going to kind of give you some good ways to link what you're interested in to potential careers and information that you would need in order to achieve your goals. So basically, when you click on the week 10 folder, or if you're in my 8 weeks class, it's likely the week 5 folder when you're doing this, I believe. The first assessment you'll do is the Student Success Profile Assessment. It takes about 30 minutes, and you need to basically set up your account. So there's a link. You click on the link that says Student Success Profile Assessment. It's going to take you to what Rose State College uses. I believe you pronounce it Vita Navis, or it might be Vita Navis. But anyway, that's the platform that they use for the assessment. And it'll basically prompt you to make a login page and basically make yourself a user profile. If for one of your other classes you've ever taken any of the assessments that's on Vita Navis and you already have a login page, but maybe you forgot your password, you would just have to put in your email that you used and then basically reset your password. But you would still be using the same account if you've already used this Vita Navis account for something else in another class. If you've never done one of the assessments on the Vita Navis website, it's going to basically make you make a profile, and then it'll log you right into the assessment and you start taking it. I'm going to go ahead and forewarn you on both of these assessments because I've taken them both myself just so I could see what the results are and what everything looked like. Some of the questions may be kind of odd or maybe just not completely 100% pertinent to you, but they do ask that you still try to answer all of the questions anyway. Even if it's kind of a weird question for you personally that maybe you don't have a good answer for, you just have to answer the best of your ability. So some of them will be, some of them won't. Some of them might seem kind of like really weird questions. I totally get it because I took the assessment as well, but just go ahead and do your best to try to answer every single question. If you skip one or two, it's not a big deal, but if you want to try to get the best, most thorough results possible, you want to try to answer every single one of the questions. And so basically, once you go all the way through and you complete the Student Success Profile, you're going to get a results page. It's going to break down the results into a bunch of different categories. It's going to say things about the way that you answered questions, and it's going to have a breakdown of, behaviors, traits, things, maybe parts of your personality, things like that. But it's also going to have an area where it ties in ways that you can use this information to benefit you more in order to kind of increase your ability to be able to have success, whether in college, your job, anything like that. And then basically, after you complete that, you'll go back to the week 10 or week 5 folder if you're in my 8 weeks class, and you're going to then see underneath where I linked the student success profile assessment that you click on, you're going to see a big yellow highlighted area saying after you completed the student success profile assessment, you need to complete the super strong assessment, and that one's going to be much shorter. It's only going to take about 5 or 10 minutes to answer those questions, and you'll use the same login that you already used for the student success profile assessment. So you'll click on that link for the super strong assessment, complete it, and then you'll get another results page that you can read over, because you do need to read your results pages, because what you're going to be doing for your assignment that you're turning in for this week is you're going to be doing what's called a reflective exercise, and then there's a survey afterwards. So last semester, I had students do really good about completing the reflective exercise, but they didn't realize to keep scrolling down, because it's basically set up as a Word document. So you can basically upload the Word document to your computer and then type in your answers, and then just basically upload your reflective exercise into the exercise folder with your answers on it. But they didn't realize they had to keep scrolling down at the end of the questions, because there's a survey that you need to answer, and you just need to answer it honestly, because there's going to be questions about, was the assessments beneficial to you? Did you learn anything? Did you disagree with anything? And it's okay if you did, because, let's face it, sometimes these assessments are not 100% right on for everyone. I've had some students that kind of get a little bit offended when they get their results, because they didn't think that some parts didn't reflect them at all, and they don't think that their personality is that way at all. And, that's okay, because not every assessment is perfect for everyone, because sometimes of the way that the questions are, how you answer them, maybe there were questions that you weren't quite sure how to answer, or you weren't really sure what they were asking. And so it's typical that maybe not every single section is going to be just dead on for everyone. So, if you disagreed with some of the results, you just basically have to be honest and say, this section I disagreed with the results, and this is why I feel like I am not like this, or whatnot. Just be honest, and you need to reflect on what the assessment gave you for information in your results, and use that reflective exercise to kind of not only think about yourself, think about behaviors, traits, personality, things that maybe are things that are inhibiting you from being successful, or even traits that you do already have that you believe do make you already successful in certain areas. And just reflect on that, because it's a really good exercise for being able to reflect on that. So just letting you know that the reflective exercise is mainly questioning you on the very first assessment, the student success profile assessment. All you need to do to submit, you need to complete both of the assessments, you need to complete the reflective exercise and survey, and then you need to submit the reflective exercise and survey as your assignment. What you also need to do, since there's not really any questions on the reflective exercise that have to do specifically with the super strong assessment, which is the second one that you're going to be taking, when you get your results page for the super strong assessment, all you need to do is take a screenshot of it, and I'm going to put that in the actual assignment folder, what you're turning in. Just take a screenshot of the results page that you got from taking the super strong assessment and upload that with the reflective exercise and survey. And that's basically going to be your 50 points for the week if you answer all the questions on the reflective exercise. And then if you upload a screenshot of your super strong assessment results page. So you don't need to do a screenshot of your student success profile assessment, because you're answering questions on that on the reflective exercise. So you don't need to take a screenshot of that results page. You just need to take a screenshot of the super strong assessment and add that in with your reflective exercise. But I will have all that written out as far as in the assignment folder, what you need to turn in order to get your full points. So basically, just take those 2 assessments this week, make sure you do the reflective exercise, make sure you scroll all the way down to the bottom and complete the survey as well, because you'll get some points taken off if you don't complete the survey as well, which is all within that one document that you're going to be uploading to complete your reflective exercise. And then just make sure you turn in a screenshot of the results page of your super strong assessment so I can see that you took it. And then basically that is all you're turning in for this week. If you have any questions as you're working on them, or if something isn't working, let's say a login isn't working or something like that, I'll be able to get you in touch with one of the representatives that's at the Career Center, and they can help you out if there's some sort of issue. But last semester, I didn't really have an issue with anyone being able to create their login page and get into the Student Success Profile Assessment or the Super Strong Assessment. So you shouldn't have any issues, but if you happen to, just send me an email and let me know if there is a question or whatnot. And that is it for this week. You don't have any chapters to read. You kind of get a break from the book. And so hopefully these assessments give you a little bit of insight, some things to reflect on, maybe some things that you disagree with, but that's okay. Just try not to take offense if some of the results that come up, you really don't think that's like you at all whatsoever. They're not perfect assessments all the time for everyone, but most of my students have always, for the most part, enjoyed taking the assessments because they do really like to get that detailed breakdown of what the results meant. And a lot of them really did agree with what the results gave them, with maybe a few here and there that had a few parts of the sections that they didn't quite agree with, which that's typical and that's not a big deal. So anyway, that is it for this week. And just email me if you have any questions, and we will see you next week.